Welcome to the latest edition of my vlogs. I'm John Kynaston and this is episode 17. I thought for this one I would just chat a little bit about a course I went on yesterday. I think with the ultras, one of the things I like about ultras is the variety of them. So you've got to think about your pacing, you've got to obviously get fit and do the training, but you've also got to think about say your kids and your food and everything. And one of the other things which is always a challenge is the navigation. And some ultras you don't need to worry too much about that because the courses are marked, but other races you do have to find your way around. For example, the Lake 100, that's certainly a race that you need a bit of navigation to be able to make sure you don't make mistakes, which I have. And also races like the West Highland Way, the Hardmoors, even though they're on recognised footpaths like the West Highland Way and the Cleveland Way for the Hardmoors, you can still make mistakes, as again I have found to my cost. And over the next couple of years I do want to get into some of the longer races, some of the multi-day races. Next year it's the Northern Traverse, and then hopefully the year after Dragon's Back, and they are both races where you do need to be able to navigate. So I was aware that it would be good to try and get a bit of a sort of start on that and a little bit of a refresher. Over the years I've used the compass and I've used the map, but it's one of those things that unless you do it regularly, then it's easy to make mistakes. So anyway, when I saw it on the web on Facebook, the Glee Club were organising a day yesterday with Gary Thompson, I thought it'd be quite good to go along, so I did, and I really enjoyed it. There was 10 of us and Gary, and we met at 11 o'clock at Old Kilpatrick, and Gary sort of explained various things and showed us what equipment he was taking and talked a bit about maps, and then we set off and we walked round about 5.5 miles or so over the next 3.5 hours. And it was really good, and I thought rather than just talk about it, I took some video clips along the way. So the rest of this little vlog this week is footage that I took yesterday as we were out and about, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of a flavour of what we did. Just want to say thank you to Laura Sinclair who organised it, and for Gary who led the course, and for everyone else who was on the course. It was great just sort of chatting to people as we walked round and were able to enjoy the time together. It was pretty cold up there at times. My feet got pretty cold, as did everybody's, and Gary was very good at keeping us moving so we didn't get too cold. But I hope you enjoy, get a little bit of a flavour of our course that we did yesterday. And if you get a chance to do one, I would recommend it, particularly if you're someone who wants to learn to use a map a bit more and a compass, particularly on races. So thanks to those who came yesterday, and thanks particularly to Gary who led the course.
Where the paths are going through on the ground, you can start knitting that together with the map, realising you can actually get all the way through to the Wangy. You know the Wangy? Yeah. So the Wangy stop, I'll try and stop out of the wind because we'll chill down in 5 minutes. But now, already two things that happen, although I say to you we're collecting features, we need to concentrate. Two things happen. We're on a really nice run out together, very friendly, and we're talking away as you would like to think you would on a good run out. Even if it's meant to be navigational, we're all together, we're humans that like to socialise. So one thing that happens is you start talking, and the more you are engaged in that conversation, the less you're concentrating, so things will slip. And you can imagine that happening in all traits of life, including driving a car and so on. So, but my point remains the same. If you're to become a good navigator, you have to learn and remember, whatever they're called, offering. That one major double track has a very distinctive feature. Big sharp end, okay? So now, when we I deliberately it's only 100 metres away, nip over and have a look. And you get over to that junction, and you maybe you see the finger post has words on it, which you'd expect from a finger post. You can read what it says and go, aha. So we were 90 degrees out there, fellas, because that is the track to such and such, and that is the path to such and such. Okay? And I can always point at the map and say the top of my map is north, representing north, and I'm going to and I'm going to don't warm you up. So this is perfect, okay? If I'm to stand with my arms describing the direction of the paths, one of my arms is there, one of my arms is there, and this is hard to do, but they're about that far apart. Yeah? So this is a very pronounced bend, change of direction.
Oh yeah, I see now.
Yeah, that's when you're on, and that's how important it is to be concentrating. It can give you so much information.
I'm concentrating mostly on not going on my arse coming down.
and enjoying the day out and trying to keep up with me because I still can't get rid of him. But so these are, I mean, I've not rehearsed these as like test points. It's just that if you're engaged with the map, you will spot both the virtues of the map and occasionally a kind of an error maybe caused by out of date mapping. What's on the map? 365.
364 here.
When we're lower down, we'll talk about altitude. Remind me on that. We'll talk more about how it can be so wrong. Direct now up here we're getting a whole bunch of extra features to collect. So many that we would freeze to death in the process of collecting them. Okay, but to point them out from west.
I'm thinking I could follow that. That looks simple. I do have a watch, but I don't know. I mean, I've got a laptop. I've got that to say.
Yeah, again. So, hey, gather around, everyone. So, in terms of urgency management, departing a summit makes this much difference. It's now, you know, you can stop and think, and there's less distress because it's not cold, it's not windy, it's lower altitude. But to do that, you want to have made the decisions that you exit in the correct direction, and you do it quickly. As accurate as you like now, and you can actually sit your compass on the map. Sorry, Robbie. You can sit the compass on the map and try and be really cleverly accurate. Now, to go, if we huddle around Mike on what we've just done there, on the 150, group huddle, standing in cold path. The slack, so orientate the map, north. We've got used to what north is by now, it's up there. We were on the slacks, we ran west. We ran for less than a kilometre and we kind of reorganised our minds as to where all these disoriented in a forest with all its forest junctions. And some of those that then go out onto higher hills, they do sometimes mark, or they become marked by little cairns and things. And it's a tiny little feature, but wouldn't it have been great to have spotted that? So that when you're running back down here, you go, that's our cairn. Yeah? Now people that are advanced GPS device users, they'll be putting these, logging these things into a GPS device. Being able to pace becomes a good measure, especially if you've got no electronic devices or they're not dependable. Because otherwise what you would do is you would set something on your watch and theoretically your watch would tell you how far you've travelled, or your GPS device. Yeah. But falling back to traditional techniques, paper, compass, pacing, this is what you're left with. And we're 100 metres to 110 metres. And the person that's most, you're all close enough I think, because the cake is, see there's a little burn running down the edge of the bracken. And I think we should all just fight for it. It's in a metal tin, when I say go, it's in a metal tin about this big, in the burn. Go! This This is the thou not shalt not speak of this teaching aid to others.